So thank you, Agni, and we'll do a little bit more chatting after our message here. This is our email for comments, correspondence, and feedback, utahkrishnas@gmail.com. Website there also for more information, utahkrishnas.org. Everything's inspired by the teachings of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who's the founder and Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Om Maganatimarandasya Ganagana Salakya Chaksurin Miritam Yanatashmai Shri Gurave Namaha Ji Chaitanyamano Vishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamyam Darati Swaparantikam. Our topic today is God doesn't waste anything. We all go through times and we don't understand things that are not fair. Maybe we're dealing with a chronic illness. We had a rough childhood. A relationship didn't work out. There are whole seasons where we just don't seem to be going anywhere, not making progress. No good breaks. Everything's routine. Sometimes we ourselves make bad choices and we bring heartache and trouble full circle around on ourselves according to the law of what goes around comes around, the law of karma. And when these things happen, it's easy to lose our passion for life, get discouraged. But our message today is that the beauty of God is that He doesn't waste anything that we go through. He doesn't waste the pain. He doesn't waste the struggle. He doesn't even waste your own personal failures. Yes, you may have blown it, done things in the past that you regret, but Krishna knows how to bring good even out of our own personal failures and shortcomings. He wouldn't have allowed it. It may not have been the best thing that He would have wanted you to choose, but that's okay. He can still take your lower choice and get you to where you need to go. It's called GPS, God's positioning system. Whenever possible, make a U-turn. Just a little micro example here. The other day, I give a Bhagavatam class online, Facebook Live, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 7:30. Balavachanda was on, Shali often joins, Britta and others. So for some reason, this day, the screen was all blurry. They couldn't see my image. And I remember the day before I cleaned the screen with a solvent that every online resource tells you not to do. And I thought, oh my gosh, I've destroyed the screen. And I shared that with the people that are joining us, among whom was Leelavati, who lives in Salt Lake City, and she's just incredibly big-hearted. Everybody who knows her just knows that she would give up the coat off her back for you. So we finished the broadcast. In the meantime, in the comment section, Leelavati says, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. She jumped in her car and she's bringing a webcam. So we finished the broadcast. And then I go back and I say, wait a minute. I can see the desktop perfectly plain. I can see my emails perfectly plain. Maybe the screen isn't ruined. And then sure enough, I look at that little light, a little dot, and there was a smudge. I guess when I was cleaning, I pushed some of the gunk across the aperture of the camera. So I just wiped it off and presto, everything was crystal clear again. And I thought, oh my gosh, Leelavati's gonna drive 100 miles round trip to bring me a webcam. She's already halfway through. She arrives 15 minutes later and I was a little embarrassed. Fortunately, Agni was up here ending class, so I asked her to go up and get the tail end of the class and all. And when she came down, it just occurred to me, Leelavati, would you like to put up some posters for the Festival of Colors that's coming up in March? She said, I'd love to do that. So I've been putting up posters for a long time, and I have my way of least resistance. I go to only places where there's bulletin boards. I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't have to get permission. I just walk in like I own the place, Beans and Brew, Starbucks, Jimmy John's. So I said, these are the three places, Beans and Brew, Starbucks, Jimmy. She left. So about 2 hours later, I get this text message from her. She was so excited about doing posters that she didn't even make it back to Salt Lake City. She'd done all of her posters in nearby Orem. Starbucks, Beans and Brews, Jimmy John's, no mention of any of those. The Petco, break room. Golden Corral, exit door. Office Max, front window. Best Buy, break room. Hand and Stone Massage, break room. Vasa Fitness, the entrance, the main entrance. And I don't know where this comes from, but she got into Cascade Elementary School and put a poster in the teacher's lounge. And this is all within like 90 minutes. And I'm thinking, Krishna, what have you just unleashed out of a wasted trip to Spanish Fork? Well, life may be full of apparent wild goose chases, false turns, wasted time, unfair situations. But Krishna's going to use those to position you for the assignment that he's placed on your life. Now, thoughts might whisper, it's too late, Charu. Things haven't worked out. I had my chance. I'm on the sideline now. My best days are behind me. No, our message today is that Krishna is not finished with you. In fact, he hasn't even started with you. That struggle wasn't a waste. Made you stronger. That delay wasn't a waste. Gave you more patience. Positioned you for greater things. That betrayal, the breakup, the loss. It was painful, but it wasn't what? Wasted. You gain experience, you gain wisdom, you gain insight. The miracle is not in what you lost, but in what you discovered about yourself, the resiliency, the strength you didn't know you had, the bounce back power. The depth of your pain, in fact, is an indication of how high Krishna wants to take you in the future. He's getting you ready. He's preparing you. He's building up your muscles, so to speak, for a great future that he has in mind. Maya, the enemy, she might have meant that for harm. But Krishna knows how to turn it around to your advantage. You're not going to come out of that challenge the same. If you've kept Krishna first place and chanted his holy names on a regular basis, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You're going to come out the other end of that situation with more faith, more courage, greater character, and greater passion. But if you don't understand this principle that God doesn't waste anything, then there will be the temptation to get bitter, discouraged. Charu, they ruined my life, walked out on me. Charu, I didn't have a good childhood. It's not my fault. Charu, I got this illness 6 months ago, and I'm still suffering from long-term effects. Charu, I lost my loved one. I have a broken heart. I can't go on. None of that we can control. It's true. Life happens. But these are times when you have to dig in your heels and remind yourself that God is in control. He would not have allowed that to happen if he didn't have a purpose for it. Nothing in your life has to be wasted. There will be seasons of struggle. There will be seasons that are not fair, but I can promise you this. If you keep the right attitude, you're going to come out better. Everybody knows, on some level, everybody knows you don't grow much in the good times, right? If things are comfortable, one person said, it means you're going downhill. That might be a little extreme, but we do know we grow more in difficult times. In difficult times, we're being stretched and we're being pressed. Difficult times, we have to dig down deep, pass the test, and that's when we find out what we're made out of. We see that kernel, that essence of God within us. That's the place where Krishna prepares you for a great destiny. Fact is, without that adversity, we would not step into the fullness of what God has in store for us. I remember reading about the entrance to the royal palace in Iran, in Tehran. Apparently an architect had planned for the walls of this royal palace to be covered with huge, ornately carved mirrors that were manufactured in Paris. The problem was that when the shipment arrived, every single mirror had been smashed to pieces. There wasn't a single piece of mirror that had been left intact. The workers were gathering up the pieces. They were going to put them in whatever their version of a dumpster is at that time. And the architect said, hold on a second. I just had an idea. He took a hammer and he broke some of the larger pieces into smaller pieces. He gathered them up in his hand. He walked over to the entry. He put some glue on the wall and he arranged the mirrors to go onto the wall in a collage, an enormous collage of broken mirror pieces. At no point were two mirrors alike, and at no point were the angles exact. Now, I've heard that the result is one of the wonders of the world. That grand entrance is a dazzling, brilliant display of prisms reflecting light in every direction. One visitor stood in awe and described the results like this: broken to me be more beautiful. So imagine or compare these broken fragments to the broken fragments of our lives. Things that seem to be leftovers, things that seem to be unnecessary, things that seem to have no practical use. A relationship, we spent years in that relationship, it didn't work out. I spent so much of the company's expense account taking this client to many, many dinners and shows, and I didn't get the contract after all of that. All that I've poured into my child, and still the child is off course running with the wrong crowd. We feel violated, we feel broken, hurting, discouraged. But Krishna is saying to you tonight, gather up those fragments. Because he's not going to waste anything that you've been through. He's going to turn that pain into power. Take that struggle and turn it into strength. You're going to get stronger. You're going to grow through it. He'll take the loss where you feel discouraged and alone and cause you to blossom. Bring beauty out of the ashes, joy out of the mourning, victory out of the defeat. Every one of us, we have things in our lives that feel like leftovers. We'd rather put them out of our mind, forget that mistake, that bad choice that we made, how someone treated you, or how you treated someone else, or how that business didn't work out. Those painful situations. We think about them in lonely nights. Man, got to throw those fragments out. Got to disregard them. They're broken. Nothing good could ever come from them. No, Krishna says, I'm not going to let you go through that and come out the same. Gather up those fragments. Look unnecessary, granted, look useless, but here's the key. Krishna can make miracles out of a mistake. He can take broken and bring beauty. He can take the pain and use it to propel you into your purpose. That's the way our God is. He's not natural. He's supernatural. We go through things, seems like there's no use to it, no purpose to it, no good in this sickness, no good in the loss of my loved one, no good in the storm that damaged my house. But Krishna specializes in the fragments, taking the scraps and making good out of them. You might be in a season of your life right now that seems unfair, uncomfortable, lonely, you're not making any progress. Maybe you can't see it right now, but it is doing something to mature you, to strengthen you, to grow you, to help you develop greater faith, more trust, stamina, endurance. In other words, it's getting you prepared for where Krishna wants to take you. Now, do your part, do the right thing when it's hard. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Forgive people when they don't deserve it. Smile when you could be sour. Praise when you could complain. All of that's passing the test. You're going to see the hand of God take the fragments of your life and do more with them than you could possibly imagine. Making something beautiful out of something that's broken. Why? Because God wastes Nothing. Pain is real, but it's not going to be wasted. The struggle is difficult, but there's going to be good come out of it. The betrayal, the loss, the sickness, difficult, but that's not how your story ends. Because Krishna is gathering up the fragments right now. Healing is coming, breakthroughs are coming, new beginnings, the right people, victory is coming. At 5 years old, we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5 years old, a young prince named Dhruva was cheated out of his legacy by a stepmother, Suruchi, with the complicity of his own father. Suruchi was the younger and more recent of his father's 2 wives. So she had finagled her son, Dhruva's younger stepson, into the position of heir apparent, even though it should have been Dhruva's, the oldest son's, legacy. And she broke this news to Dhruva in a very, very cruel way. Yo, you know there couldn't be a talk without a rap, right? Let me tell you about a young prince named Dhruva. At 5 years old, he was scorned, full of ambition and fire, seeking his father's throne, his ultimate desire. Stepmother Suruchi, so cold, her words cut like a knife. Only my son deserves the royal life. Take your next birth from my womb, and then maybe you'll be worth the throne. Though tears blinded his sight, deep down inside, his spirit ignited with a blazing light. Dhruva appeared to his own mother, Suniti, a guiding star. She said, "Seek Lord Vishnu, he won't be far." Dhruva went into the forest all alone, his resolve stronger than stone. For 6 months, his meditation was unbreakable, his will unshakable. The sage Narada saw the boy's true might, taught him a mantra that bathed him in divine light. Let's all say together, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Lord Vishnu appeared, a vision so grand, he touched the boy's head with his hand till the senses expanded. Because you've worshipped me without offenses and pretenses, your wish is granted. Over a kingdom greater than your father's you shall reign. The North Star shining brightly above this world of pain. Dhruva the pole star, legend above, unwavering faith, boundless love. Story echoes a lesson so clear: when darkness surrounds, conquer your fear. So when you feel small, like your dreams are denied, just remember young Dhruva and let his story be your guide. Focus your heart and let your ambition take flight. You too can rise up and become a shining light. Dhruva the legend, his name still inspires a testimony of faith that fuels our inner fires. Let's raise our voices and sing his praises as one. Dhruva's journey reminds us victory can be won. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Scripture says that God's calling on your life is irreversible. Krishna, God, doesn't change his mind. We may make mistakes. We may get off course. People do us wrong. But every step of the way, you're learning something that you're going to need down the road for your destiny. Seems random. Seems like just another delay. Just another wrong turn. Just another bad break. But can I tell you, your steps are being ordered. Krishna is preparing you, grooming you, positioning you. You may be not able to see it. It may not make sense to you, but Krishna can see past, present, and future. Past, present, and future sit like a fruit in God's hand. He would not have allowed it if it wasn't going to move you towards your purpose. And none of us like these wilderness seasons in the forest, like with Dhruva, the struggles. Dhruva could have had a pity party. He could have given up right then and there. What can I, a 5-year-old boy, do against the full weight of my father and the kingdom? My father didn't have time for me. My father favored my stepbrother over me, my stepmother over my mother. I'm not where I thought I would be in life. It's so unfair. Boo-hoo, poor me. It would have been so easy for Dhruva just to give up. Who would have blamed him? Everyone would have expected it of him, to live in pity, down on himself, feeling that life was unfair. But Dhruva was having none of it. Turned it around. He thought, the greater the betrayal, the more glorious will the victory. The worse the insult, the sweeter will be the vindication. Dhruva knew that Krishna was on his throne. Dhruva knew that Krishna doesn't waste pain. Dhruva knew that Krishna can use the scars. He can use what someone did to you. He doesn't waste mistakes. And just see how Dhruva's story turned out. The shame and humiliation he felt were stepping stones. Fact is, he needed that rejection to crystallize his own resolve, to step into his own destiny, become the person that Krishna or God created him to be. Note, he didn't just get his kingdom restored. He didn't just get what he asked for. Krishna took what he asked for and supersized it beyond his furthest imagination. And not only that, the Lord appeared before him face to face, enlivened all of Dhruva's senses with his touch, and the Lord, Vishnu, personally guaranteed that in the very near future, Dhruva would enter into the eternal spiritual world. Now, if you'll just learn this art, following the footsteps of Dhruva, of seeing the hand of God in everything, that there's a lesson to it. In every area we can grow, we can get positioned for something greater. Don't sit around resentful, bitter, moaning about how unfair it was, about what hasn't worked out. We're putting you on notice today. Your North Star is coming. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The same God who allowed Dhruva to be insulted by his mother, ignored by his father, the same God who allowed this 5-year-old boy to venture alone into the dark, dangerous forest, that same God sent him his spiritual master and guide, Narada Muni. That same God personally appeared before that boy face to face after 6 months. That same God not only restored Dhruva's kingdom, but gave him a much greater kingdom in the pole star. That same God enlivened all of Dhruva's senses with his touch, and that same God promised his elevation to the kingdom of God after leaving the present body. Dhruva famously said, if you'll allow me to give the Sanskrit, Shtan bilasi tapasi stitoham tam praptavam devam aningraham kachambichin bamapi divyaratnam shrami kitarto varamneache. Briefly, Dhruva said, I was looking for pieces of broken glass, but instead I got the most valuable jewel. Krishna wastes nothing. If you've kept him first place, your time is coming. What Krishna purposed for your life is still on schedule. The dreams he's placed in your heart, they may have taken longer than you thought. There may have been some detours, some obstacles, but it was still all a part of his plan. He's gathering up the fragments. He's putting the broken pieces together. It's still going to come to pass. We can all look back in our lives and see things that don't seem fair. We didn't understand. Why did my father leave me out? Why was I disinherited? Why was I born in a dysfunctional family? Why did I lose that loved one? Why did the school of my choice turn me down? Well, if you came here for those answers, I can't give them to you. But I can tell you that Krishna would not have allowed it if it was not going to deposit something in you, if it was not going to get you into position for what he has coming. He doesn't waste anything. He has a plan A for your life. He has a plan B for your life. He has a plan C. He has a plan D. That'll get you to where you're supposed to be. I think a better way to say it is he has plan A, and then he has plan A1, And then at plan A2, plan A3, plan A4, and plan A5. We just have to do our part and stay in faith. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're not going to understand it all in real time. Can you ask Raleigh to keep it down there a little bit? They don't realize sound rises. That delay, the bad break, the people that lied about me, this mountain that instead of getting smaller seems to be getting bigger and more uncrossable. Those are times when you have to trust. Krishna, I know that you're in control. I know that you don't waste anything. Therefore, I'm going to stay in peace. I'm going to do the right thing, knowing that it's all good. And when you do that, you're growing. You're getting stronger. Those difficulties in your past, like with Dhruva, those are not going to define you or keep you from moving forward. Rather, they're preparing you. You're going to come into seasons where you look back and think, so that's what Krishna was doing. That's why the door closed. That's why the contract fell through. That's why he or she walked away. Now, Krishna didn't necessarily send a storm, but he used the storm. We may not understand all that comes our way in life, but one thing we can be certain of, God doesn't waste anything. What looks like a setback, if you have the right attitude, the right perspective, it's really Krishna setting you up for what you're going to need. He knows what it is that you need in order to do the job that he's assigned for you. He knows when you'll need it, he knows how you'll need it, and he knows how to get it to you. And when he gets it to you, it won't be a minute too soon, a minute too late. Now, on the way to your destiny, there are going to be seasons that you don't understand. And when that happens, you just have to trust. Krishna is not going to waste the pain, not going to waste the struggle, not going to waste the mistakes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now just do your part, one simple thing. Trust him in the forest. Trust him in the wilderness seasons. Do the right thing when you don't understand, because Krishna would not have allowed the difficulty if he wasn't going to bring good out of it. Like Dhruva Maharaj, if you'll just keep moving forward in faith, knowing that God is always in control, consistently chanting his holy names with faith, attention, joy, and devotion, I predict that he's going to turn your pain into power. He's going to turn that struggle into strength, that mistake into a miracle, those messes into messages in this life and in the next life. I predict that he's going to take you back to home, back to Godhead. Thank you very much for your kind attention. You're invited to raise your hands and we can all say it together. Come on, Oscar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. While we're getting ready for Arti, we actually have a little something extra here. We can't afford a big orchestra pit with guitarists and vocalists and things like that, but we can bring you a little, the message. I don't know how to get the volume up. guys can get ready for Arti if you want. Namrita. Okay, we can begin Arti now. Okay. Ready, go. That's a sample of the new sound of KHQN radio station. If you like that, if we whetted your appetite as you drive around in your car, preset one of the stations you listen to, 1480. And if you're out of the range of the AM, you can just download a free app. We use Simple Radio, and you can listen to it anywhere in the world. There's Wi-Fi. Lots and lots of songs like this. Jai.
Krishna